Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sunday, a lovely Sunday in Pretoria. It's 30 odd degrees, and so life is good. Well, unless you're a Bulls supporter or a Stormers supporter, I suppose, today. But saying that, let's have a quick review of the weekend that's gone by. I think we'll start off. What a weekend, first of all. Geez, certainly some results have put the cats amongst the pigeons. So it's going to be a very, very interesting run in towards the playoffs. And we're going to take a look at all the games now and give some comments about that. So this is how the log looks right now. After 14 rounds, Leinster still top, but their loss to the Lions and Glasgow's win puts Glasgow a point behind. Munster leapfrog the Bulls after that epic win at Loftus Versfeld. Benetton were good value as well. They've moved up into 5th place as well. Ospreys still 7th, although they're really challenging, and they've got a tough game at Loftus this weekend. And Edinburgh with a big win moved back into the top 8. Lions are still there, 1 point behind. If they have another win against Munster, if they win against Munster this week, they could easily move into the top 6. Given and it's really close. If you look at this table, there's between 5th place and 11th place, there's 3 points. So Ulster winning brought them back into 10th place. Connacht in 9th after their win. I think I feel a bit sorry for Cardiff. Had a very close loss there, but I think the bottom 4 are out of it. Cardiff as well. Those top 11 are going to challenge for those 8 places, and that's the way it should be. You want it to be one of those really run into the finals. There's 4 rounds left. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this ends up and how the teams end up at the end of these rounds, and who makes the top 8 and who gets the home playoff positions. But let's dive into the games. Okay, so it started off on Friday night with the Sharks sending a B team up to Glasgow Warriors. A very important game for them. I think the Sharks played pretty well given the circumstances. There still seems to be a bit of a gulf between their Springbok-laden A team and their B team. Or should I say their second stringers, the rest of their squad. I know that people don't like calling B teams nowadays. I thought it was a good performance, especially that second half from the Sharks. I think more importantly, the fact that the Sharks kept Glasgow from getting a bonus point, which helps the other teams in the chase as such. Although Glasgow probably would have been frustrated at that, scoring 3 tries and not the 4th try. And I know Franco Smith won't be happy with that, but they're certainly going to be contenders. They're now a point behind Leinster. It's a good win for them. They've still got to come to South Africa, so that's going to determine exactly where they're going to finish. But I think after this weekend's results, that trip doesn't look so daunting anymore for some of the teams. And I thought the way the Glasgow started, I thought they were going to win quite healthy by quite a big margin. But the way the Sharks came back into the second half, and they were quite unlucky at times in the second half as well. Certainly better than the scoreline probably suggests, but a bit closer than that. And I think all around a good performance by the Sharks. They need their rest of their squad to take that step up, and that's the challenge for all the South African teams. Is that when your second string players start playing, you need them to actually to do well, and you need them to come through, and that's what made a team like Leinster so successful over the years, and that they don't take a step down when their main players are away. So the second game on Friday night was Cardiff Ulster, and man, I didn't get to watch that one live, but geez, there's been a lot of talk on social media about that one. Yes, Cardiff were unlucky. Yes, they've been exceptionally unlucky the entire season, and you really feel for them. Part of the frustrating thing about not seeing the game live is that you don't get to see the incidents that everyone's talking about. There are some Twitter grabs here and there that you can, and I'll be using one or two of them. But it seems that Ulster were extremely lucky to win that game. A lot of Cardiff fans very upset about it, and I can understand why. Although it does seem that the final call was the correct one. There was a knock on that was picked up, and we'll see it here. Which led to just after that turnover, and Theo Kabango went over and was going to score his hat trick. By the way, what a talent he is, and geez, he's electric when he gets the ball. I've only seen the highlights, but from highlights alone, he looks absolutely stunning when he gets the ball in hand. A proper finisher, and that's nice. I see he's the brother of Ben Kabango, the Welsh footballer, so that's very interesting as well. But this incident was the one that keeps everyone talking about. Yeah, it came back. Ulster got a penalty from this, and John Cooney kicked it to win. Very, very lucky indeed. And another one that some of the Cardiff fans are picking up is this. Let me just get it up here. This try-saving effort from Ulster. Sorry, let me just turn the sound down here. I'll put it up on here now. Where this is absolutely amazing try-saving effort. But if you look at the letter of the law, that's a kick. Just he kicks the ball out of the attacker's hand. It's a great try-saving effort, but that angle there tells us it's a kick out of his hand, and that according to the law. And if you look at the law, you bring up the law here. The law says the player must not attempt to kick the ball from the hands of ball carrier. So technically that's a penalty, and should be a penalty try, but obviously wasn't given. So it's after the game now, so not much can be done about it. It's a moot point now, but I suppose Cardiff fans can feel really enraged by that. And sometimes these go against you. So as we'll see in some of the other games as well. That was a tough one for Cardiff, but a good home win and a very lucky win for Ulster. And they seem to be fighting off the Wolves at the moment. So lots to talk about that game. Of course, Saturday brought a bunch of very interesting results. Let's start with the Emirates Lions, taking on Leinster, and we know it's a Leinster second side, but Leinster second sides are normally quite strong in the competition, and the Lions just blew them away, 22-0 up very early in the game, and sort of sorted it out 44-12. Certainly not a loss that Leinster would have wanted. They would have wanted some points out of the game. And they've got now a tough game to go play the Stormers with the same squad. So if they leave South Africa without points, it's going to be interesting to see what that does to their title challenge. They've, of course, got a much bigger Champions Cup game there. Jacques Nina was leaving on Tuesday to go back to start preparing the guys for that. So it's going to be a very tough week for Leinster as well. And it's going to be interesting to see how they cope. Stormers will want to bounce back from their loss as well. So a tough one. But listen to what Leo Cullen said afterwards about some of the lessons that his team has to make. Sorry, in the background there's a Hardy doll making some strange noises here, but apologies for that. But listen to Leo Cullen, and this is what he had to say afterwards.
The model that we have, like I said, we primarily bring young players through the system, and you've got to get them experience at some point. So, and for the bulk of the season, like the 18 regular URC games, we have a core group that we use, and a lot of these guys are with us here. So. We'll make some assessments. See, there was a good physical game there as well. So a few guys a bit banged up, and we'll see how they are and make some calls as to what we do this week. But listen, go down to Cape Town, start playing Stormers. Like it's not going to get any easier for us, is it? Like it's a really tough challenge down there. But that's the beauty, isn't it? Like the competition for us, and it's tough, and our guys need to learn sometimes some harsh lessons. So they got a pretty harsh lesson out there today. So, but the hope is always they will be better for that experience, as painful as it sometimes is. You got to go through it, it was rich learning for our guys out of that experience.
Of course, there were some great tries, and yes, just one of them. Thanks to the guys at URC for this, and just shows how dominant the Lions were and how quickly they could turn defence into attack. So have a look.
Vandenberg, Mahamba, soft hands out wide by the Lions. Frankie Horn, JC Pretorius got the pace. The 7 specialist, inside ball again to Morne Vandenberg. The juggle, Vandenberg inside ball will find the captain, Maurice Lowe.
It wouldn't be complete without going across to giving Cash van Rooyen some credit. So this is what he said after the game as well.
If you're going to keep Leinster attacking ball in that zone, you have to really defend well, and I think that's probably what I'm the proudest about is the fight in defence, the character in defence, the willingness to keep them out. I think in 80 minutes is probably our best character fight, probably this season, which obviously well done to the players. It's really good, and then to have some counter attack from scraps and from ball on ground to then finish it off is obviously delightful. If you work that hard in defence and you get opportunity to then use it, it's good to see.
The Lions were in 8th spot for a while and then got moved back down to 11th. But if they can continue playing like this and they've got a couple of games at home, they're really going to be hard to stop as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Munster's going to be a tough one for them, but if they play like this, you give them a chance. Benetton, of course, had a very good game against the Dragons. They really were good on the day. I didn't get to see too much of that game, but saw the highlights, and they were certainly quite dominant. The Dragons sort of just trying to see out the season. Benetton are really going to, if they continue like this, they can cause a couple of teams problems, and it's really a great year for Italian rugby. I'm just going to leave you with this. This was a nice touch afterwards. Aki Siuli got his 50th cap, and in the change room, Devenage gave him his congratulations and made this little speech, and it's a lovely little moment behind the scenes, and thanks to Benetton Rugby for sharing this.
The father was on his deathbed and gave his son a watch at this, and he said, it's your watch, go see how much it's worth. So he went to the nearest jeweler, gave it to the jeweler and said how much it's worth, so can I have the money? He said, it's 200 years old, it's not worth a lot, only 100 euros. He went back the next day, his father said, go to the nearest second-hand shop, to an antique shop. He went to the antique shop is scratched, maybe it's 200 euros worth. And the last time, so okay, take it to a museum. Okay? He went to the museum said, fuck, this a limited edition, is worth millions of rands. So the story just say, I know, or I don't, 100% I know, you know what you are worth, your value, and the other point is you need to go where people see your worth, okay? And that's most important. I think over your career, I think Benetton, you can see 50 caps in a few years, see your worth, and I think today, congrats on the 50th, go live it out, and 100 is around the corner. Congrats again.
And then we get to the big one. The big one for me. I was at Loftus Versfeld for Munster against the Bulls, and the Bulls really just didn't get going. And you've got to give Munster credit. They were streetwise, they were smart, they were everything that a champion team needed to be. They really took it to the Bulls. They sort of bullied them at the breakdown. Got away with a bit there, but they were in the face of the ref the whole time. But they certainly got away with it. And the Bulls tended to be a bit naive there as well. Of course, the big thing was Johan Goosen's red card that changed the game, and that put it in Munster's favour. And it was a bit of an awkward one. Now, I've got a bit of an issue, which my problem isn't with the red card, because by all elements, technically it was a red card. But early in the game, there was a clash of heads with Sebastian de Klerk, which wasn't even looked at, which was a rugby incident according to the referee. And now if you look at that, and you compare that to some of the red cards we've seen for accidental head clashes, I think rugby still has a problem where we need to clearly define what a red card is. You'd ask any fan, and you ask them to be, where's the consistency? Because a couple of weeks ago, Luke McGrath hit Kurt the Orange high. It should have been a red, was given a yellow. And now Johan Goosen gets a red for a similarly innocuous thing. I know we're trying to protect players, and you should take all precautions, etc. But we need to know what a red card is, because that's the problem. The consistency isn't there in rugby, and that's the biggest problem. But okay, listen to what Jake White had to say to it about the red card, and also he has a clip about what he said about the game as well.
Yeah, I think I suppose it's just like what I said. They've got experience, You got Captain of Ireland playing there. You got R.G. Snyman's won a World Cup. I think he's won 2, hasn't he? He's won 2 World Cups. In their forward pack, and you look at like Conor Murray's played for the British and Irish Lions more than once. And I think that's when you look at, and again, it's part of the growth of our squad. You take out Marcel and Marku and Ruan Nokia. All of a sudden we look a little bit young, and I'm talking about in terms of game feel and experience, and that's what they've got. I think they're very composed. At one stage we were 10-7 up, looked like they were panicking, and before you knew it we were 17-10 down, literally in the last sort of 10 minutes of the first half. So that's what good teams do, and good teams will get to the back end of the first half and put you under the pump. It's such a difficult one, because I understand they're trying to make the game, and it's true, they're trying to make the game safer. They don't want concussions. That is the way. So there's no, 1 week. You might be fortunate when a referee says, "Look, that was a rugby incident," or like that one was a yellow card, even though that he knocked Kirtley like that. Sometimes you got to take the rough with the smooth. That's so. I definitely think it changed the outcome of the game. I think it definitely made the game turn a different angle, and that's sometimes, had that been later on in the game and we were far ahead, then people don't see the importance of that. That's what makes it so hard for a coach. It's because you almost sense there's certain key moments in a game that if they go for you, if they don't go for you, then you could end up winning or losing again. He was. But as I said, he came running. The guy was trying to pass the ball upright as a 9. I wonder if that 9 was down passing, whether he would have defended that differently. But you can't change it. I think at the end of the day, it's just another hearing this week, which is also disruptive. Last week at a hearing with Cameron, this week, that's the thing also which detracts from preparing properly for the week.
It obviously leaves the table rather interesting, because Munster now have obviously taken over and sort of leapfrogged the Bulls, and that's quite significant. The Bulls hadn't lost at home, 21 consecutive games against overseas opposition that they'd won, so that's another record that comes to an end. And just where this leaves the Bulls, have a listen to Jake, and this is where it leaves them going forward.
They've done really well. They'll get it right. We saw what Great College did when they lost to Jeppe. That's what good players do. The next week they went and gave Otanikwa 90. So it just showed you what sort of rugby culture we have in our country. And that's all I expect from them, is next week, Monday, to arrive at work and to prepare as well as they can and make sure that they play as well as they can, because they would all agree that's not the way we can play. We can play better than that.
Of course, the other big upset of the weekend was the Stormers Ospreys game. Can't say that was totally unexpected. Ospreys have been playing some great rugby this season and really are on the upward curve. Toby Booth continues to impress with what he's working with, and some really good vibes there for Welsh rugby teams. And this probably is one of their biggest victories out there. They came to South Africa last in the Challenge Cup and beat the Lions as well. So 2 wins in the last 2 games in South Africa. They've got the recipe, as do Munster, of winning in South Africa, and it's going to be interesting to see if other teams learn how to win as well. It's a game I also only saw patches of, but the ones I saw, because we were in the press conference with the Bulls and Munster, it really seemed as if the Stormers really just didn't get on song. Although they scored this wonderful try. Have a look at this try that Wandisile Simelane started. Really stunning try.
Galan still trying to send it that way. It's also scrappy from the home team, and now Simelane will try to apply some straight lines to the situation. Simelane taking on defenders. Libok away to Ungerer, looking for Libok on the loop. Here comes Evan Roos, straight down the centre of the field. He's thundering home for the try.
Harry Deeves, who put it quite quite succinctly, how much this meant to Ospreys and how big a win this was for them. Have a listen.
Deeves, an historic win out in South Africa again.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
Yeah, bouncing. Like I said, on top of the world. Mental. We knew it was a massive challenge, you know. We know about the quality teams, but we believed in ourselves, and you know, we knew we'd done it once early on in the season, and we were backed ourselves again, talked about belief, and you know, the boys dug in. Can't back them enough. Every single person give everything, and I'm just so proud. Can't wait for a couple of years now celebrating it.
And what is it about this group of boys that keep allowing you to pull results like this out the bag?
I don't know, I think it's our off-field things and stuff like that. We're a tight-knit group, and we're only going to go stronger. Once you gain that bond, you know, it just makes you want to play for them, play for yourself, play for the badge much more.
So that certainly set the cat amongst the pigeons, and the Stormers don't get beaten often at the DHL Stadium. But you've got a feeling that this has been coming for a while. They've sort of got away with, you know, great escapes a couple of times, and you know, there's some worrying signs for John Dobson's team, especially where they are on the log. You know, especially going forward, some of the games they're going to have when they make the playoffs, and just where they're going to end up. So, yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of soul searching this week in Cape Town. I think it can be. Certainly got the talent to rectify it, but it just seems like something's missing this year. It doesn't seem to be that same sort of surge, momentum that the Stormers normally have at this time of the season. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that goes this week. Yeah, run through some of the games quickly as well. Connacht, huge win over Zebra. I thought Zebra would be a bit more competitive, but I suppose it's this time of the season where between 9th and 16th, that is the gap, 54-16. Good win for Connacht there. They're going to still be tough for a couple of teams. The Stormers still have to go to Galway as well, so that's a tough one. And then Edinburgh, with their Scottish players back, as I thought would be a big win against Scarlets. Very dominant. You can see them still challenging for top 8. Sean Everett's side really in good form there. Yeah, Piers Kuman was great. There's some good players coming through there at Edinburgh, and they can still cause a couple of headaches this season. And that was the last game of the season. So
second stint at the club after a prolific spell with Jersey. Velikot makes the steal, and Van der Merwe tracking up the outside. Mark Bennett against Vaya Pepita. This will be interesting. Pepita's rapids. Oh, but he's played a 1-2 off the tongue in. It's so cruel for the Scarlets.
Let's take a look at the week's fixtures. Got a couple of games coming up. I'll do a proper video on it later in the week as well. A proper preview. Sharks go to Scarlets on Friday night. It's going to be a tough one, but the Sharks should be able to win that one. Can win that one. Ulster Benetton is going to be an interesting one in Belfast. Benetton really on form now. Glasgow Warriors go to Zebra. They'll be looking for a bonus point there. Bulls play Ospreys. That's going to be a massive game, especially after the Ospreys win in Cape Town. And the Bulls desperate to win a home game then. So that's going to be a tough one. Cardiff faced Edinburgh. Another nice arm wrestle there. That should be a very interesting game as well. Lions against Munster. That will be a tough one as well. Stormers Leinster. I think the Stormers should probably win that one against Leinster's second side. But you never know. A team can really rectify themselves in a week, and that goes for both sides. Dragons Connacht, I think Connacht will be looking for a win there as well. So it's going to be an interesting weekend coming up. If it's as dramatic as this weekend, it should be massive. So tell me what you think. Tell me what your thoughts are of all the drama this weekend. Which was the biggest talking point, and be interesting to know. I'm also planning to do a video sometime this week on answering some of your questions. So if you want to leave in the comments below a question, I'll do my best to answer it. And yeah, let's see how that goes. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't, press the subscribe button. Chat to you later. Cheers.